Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today we are diving into 4 interesting U.S. coins that many people overlook, but collectors always search for: the 1988 D quarter dollar, the 1996 P quarter dollar, the 1994 D 5 cents, and the 1977 5 cents. Let's explore their history, design, mint marks, and potential value. Let's begin with the 1988 D quarter dollar. The 1988 D quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington quarter series of the United States, one of the most widely collected and recognized coins in American numismatic history. This coin was struck in 1988 at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. The Washington quarter series itself began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design proved so popular that it replaced the earlier standing Liberty quarter and continued for decades, becoming a cornerstone of everyday American commerce and coin collecting alike. The obverse of the 1988 D quarter features a familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This portrait was based on a bust of Washington, created by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon in the late 18th century. Washington is shown facing left, with the word Liberty above his head, the motto "I in God we trust" to the left, and the date 1988 below. The small D mint mark appears on the right side of the obverse near the base of Washington's ponytail, signifying that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint facility in Colorado. The overall design reflects simplicity and dignity, aligning with Washington's historical legacy and the traditional style of American coinage in the early 20th century. The reverse of the 1988 D quarter carries the classic eagle design that was used on Washington quarters from 1932 until 1998, before the introduction of the 50-state quarters program. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows. Beneath the eagle are 2 olive branches, symbolizing peace, while the arrows represent strength and readiness to defend the nation. The inscription United States of America appears above the eagle, and the denomination quarter dollar is inscribed below. The national motto E pluribus unum is positioned above the eagle's head. This design, also created by John Flanagan, is considered a classic example of American coin artistry and reflects the country's identity and values during much of the 20th century. In terms of composition, the 1988 D quarter is made from a copper-nickel clad composition. Specifically, it consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This clad composition was introduced in 1965, replacing the earlier 90% silver content that had been used in quarters up to 1964. The switch from silver to clad was primarily due to rising silver prices and the need to maintain adequate coin supplies for circulation. As a result, the 1988 D quarter contains no silver value, and its worth is primarily determined by its condition, rarity in high grades, and collector demand. The coin has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a weight of approximately 5.67 grams. It features a reeded edge, which consists of a series of small grooves around the circumference. Reeded edges were originally used on silver coins to prevent clipping or shaving of precious metal, and they have remained a standard feature even on modern clad coins. The 1988 D quarter was struck in large quantities for circulation, reflecting the ongoing demand for quarters in everyday transactions throughout the United States. The mintage of the 1988 D quarter was substantial, with hundreds of millions of pieces produced at the Denver Mint. Because of this high mintage, the coin is generally considered common in circulated grades. Most examples found in pocket change or coin rolls show typical signs of wear, including flattened high points on Washington's hair and the eagle's breast and wings. In circulated condition, the coin typically carries only face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples in mint state condition can carry modest premiums, especially those with strong luster, sharp strikes, and minimal contact marks. Collectors often seek out high-grade examples certified by professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC. In grades such as MS65 or higher, the 1988 D quarter can command a higher price, particularly if it displays exceptional eye appeal. Coins graded MS-67 or above are significantly scarcer and may sell for much higher prices at auction due to their relative rarity in such pristine condition. As with many modern coins, the challenge for collectors lies not in finding the coin itself, but in locating examples that are nearly flawless and free of the small nicks and abrasions that typically occur during mass production and distribution. Proof versions of the 1988 quarter were also produced, but these were struck at the San Francisco Mint and bear an S Mint mark. The 1988 D quarter specifically refers to the business strike produced for circulation at the Denver Mint, not the proof issue. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. The Denver Mint did not produce proof coins for this issue, so collectors looking for proof examples must seek out the San Francisco issues instead. Error coins from 1988 D quarters can add an additional layer of interest and potential value. While most coins are produced to standard specifications, occasional mint errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clip planchets, or die cracks can occur. Such errors are relatively uncommon and can command premiums depending on the type and severity of the error. For example, a well-defined double die on the obverse lettering or date could significantly increase collector interest. However, major documented varieties from 1988 D quarter are limited, and most examples encountered are standard issues. The historical context of the 1988 D quarter places it in the late Cold War era, during the presidency of Ronald Reagan's final year in office. The United States economy was experiencing growth during the late 1980s, and coin production remained high to meet commercial needs. While the 1988 D quarter itself does not commemorate a specific historical event, it represents a period of stability and continuity in American coinage before the major design changes that would occur in the following decade with the introduction of the 50 state quarters in 1999. From a collecting standpoint, the 1988 D quarter is often included in complete Washington quarter dated mint collections. Many collectors assemble sets covering the years from 1932 through 1998, including both Philadelphia and Denver Mint issues, as well as proofs. Because the 1988 D is common, it is generally one of the easier coins to obtain in a circulated set. However, assembling a high-grade mint state set can be more challenging and rewarding, particularly when aiming for top population examples. The strike quality of 1988 D quarters can vary. Some examples show weaker detail in Washington's hair or in eagle's feathers, which can affect their grading and desirability. Coins with full, sharp detail and bright, original mint luster are more desirable. Luster refers to the way light reflects off. Next, let's talk about the 1996 P quarter dollar. The 1996 P quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington quarter series of the United States, one of the most recognized and widely collected coin series in American numismatic history. This coin was struck in 1996 at the Philadelphia Mint, which is indicated by the small P mint mark located on the obverse of the coin, to the right of George Washington's ponytail. The Washington Quarter Series originally began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was intended as a one-year commemorative issue, but its popularity ensured that it will remain the standard quarter design for decades. The obverse of the 1996 P quarter features the left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The portrait was inspired by a bust of Washington, created by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Hedon in 1786. Above Washington's head appears the word Liberty, while the motto "I in God We Trust" is positioned to the left of the portrait. The date 1996 appears below Washington's bust. The small P mint mark, representing the Philadelphia Mint, is found just to the right of Washington's ponytail. It is important to note that Philadelphia did not use mint marks on quarters before 1980. So by 1996, the presence of the P mint mark had become standard practice. The reverse of the 1996 P quarter displays the classic heraldic eagle design that was used on Washington quarters from 1932 until 1998, before the introduction of the 50 state quarters program in 1999. The eagle is shown with its wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and military preparedness. Beneath the arrows are olive branches, representing peace. The inscription United States of America appears above the eagle, while quarter dollar is inscribed below. The motto E Pluribus Unum is placed above the eagle's head. This reverse design, also created by John Flanagan, reflects traditional American symbolism and remained unchanged for more than 6 decades. The 1996 P quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This clad composition was introduced in 1965, replacing the earlier 90% silver composition used in quarters from 1932 to 1964. The change was made because rising silver prices led to coin shortages and hoarding. As a result, the 1996 P quarter contains no silver and does not have intrinsic precious metal value. Its value is based primarily on condition and collector demand. The coin has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and weighs approximately 5.67 grams. It features a reeded edge with 119 reeds, a traditional design element originally intended to prevent the clipping of precious metal from coins. Even though modern quarters are not made of silver, the reeded edge remains a standard feature of the denomination. In terms of mintage, the 1996 P quarter was struck in large numbers for circulation. Hundreds of millions of examples were produced at the Philadelphia Mint to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Because of this high mintage, the coin is considered common in circulated condition. Most examples found in pocket change today show signs of wear, including flattened details on Washington's hair and light, where on the eagle's breast feathers. In circulated grades such as good, very good, fine, or extremely fine, the 1996 P quarter is generally worth its face value of 25 cents. However, in uncirculated mint state grades, the coin can carry modest premiums. Coins graded MS-63, MS-64, or MS-65 by professional grading services, such as PGS or NGC, are often sought by collectors assembling complete Washington quarter sets. The real challenge lies in finding examples in very high grades, such as MS-67 or higher, where contact marks, strike quality, and eye appeal become critical factors in determining value. Strike quality can vary among 1996 P quarters. Some coins display weaker details in Washington's hair or in the eagle's feathers due to dye wear or striking pressure variations. Collectors prefer coins with sharp, well-defined details and strong original mint luster. Mint luster refers to the reflective, cartwheel-like shine that appears on uncirculated coins when tilted under light. Any breaks in luster may indicate wear or mishandling. Proof quarters were also produced in 1996, but these were struck at the San Francisco Mint and bear the S Mint mark. The 1996 P quarter specifically refers to the business strike produced for circulation at Philadelphia. Proof coins are made using specially prepared dies and polished planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. They were sold to collectors in proof sets and are distinct from regular circulation strikes. An important related issue from 1996 is the special 1996 W. Roosevelt dime, struck at the West Point Mint to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime series. Although this does not directly affect the 1996 P quarter, it highlights the fact that 1996 was a year of numismatic interest in the United States. The quarter itself, however, remained a standard design without special commemorative elements. Error coins from a 1996 P quarter series can add interest and potential value. While most coins were struck correctly, occasional mint errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, or double dies can occur. Minor die cracks are relatively common and usually add little value, but major double die varieties or dramatic off-center strikes can command premiums. Collectors should examine coins carefully for unusual characteristics, especially in the date and lettering. The 1996 P quarter also represents the final years of the classic Washington quarter design before the dramatic redesign that occurred in 1999 with the launch of the 50 state quarters program. Beginning in 1999, each state received its own unique reverse design, marking a significant shift in U.S. coinage history. Therefore, The 1996 P quarter can be viewed as part of the closing chapter of the traditional eagle reverse era that began in 1932. From a historical perspective, 1996 was a year during the presidency of Bill Clinton, a period of economic expansion in the United States. Coin production remained strong to support commercial growth and consumer spending. The quarter denomination has always been heavily used in vending machines, parking meters, laundromats, and everyday transactions, contributing to high mintage figures seen in 1996. Collectors often include the 1996 P quarter in complete date and mint sets covering 1932 through 1998. Because it is common, it is usually easy to obtain in circulated grades. However, collectors seeking gem quality examples may search through original mint rolls or bank wrap rolls in hopes of finding coins with minimal contact marks. Original rolls can sometimes contain coins with better than average preservation, though finding top population specimens remains challenging. In the modern coin market, circulated 1996, P quarters typically trade at face value. Uncirculated examples may sell for a small premium, often between $1 and several dollars depending on grade. Certified high-grade examples, particularly those graded MS67 or higher, can command significantly higher prices at auction due to their scarcity in such pristine condition. The difference in value between A. Now let's move to the 1994 D5 cents coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. The 1994 D5 cents coin is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series of the United States. This coin was struck in 1994 at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin, to the right of Thomas Jefferson's portrait. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the earlier Buffalo nickel design, and it has remained in continuous production ever since, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The obverse of the 1994 D nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The portrait was originally designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose design won a national competition held by the United States Mint in 1938. Jefferson's image appears prominently in the center, with the word liberty inscribed to the left, followed by the year 1994. The motto "I in God We Trust" appears along the left edge of the coin. The D mint mark is positioned to the right of Jefferson's shoulder, indicating that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse of the 1994 D nickel features an image of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic Virginia home. The building is depicted in a frontal view with detailed architectural elements, including the dome and columns. Above the building appears the inscription E Pluribus Unum, the traditional motto of the United States. Below Monticello is the word Monticello, followed by 5 cents and United States of America. This reverse design, also created by Felix Schlag, was modified slightly after its introduction in 1938 to improve the clarity of the building's details. In terms of composition, the 1994 D nickel is made of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has been standard for nickel since 1866, except for the special wartime silver alloy used from 1942 to 1945 during World War II. The coin contains no silver or precious metal, and its intrinsic metal value is typically close to or slightly above face value, depending on current metal prices. However, the collectible value of the 1994 D nickel depends largely on its condition and any unique characteristics. The coin has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and weighs 5.0 grams. Unlike quarters and dimes, the nickel has a plain edge rather than a reeded one. Its thickness and solid feel make it easily distinguishable from other U.S. coins in circulation. The smooth edge is a traditional feature of the denomination and has been consistent for most of its history. The mintage of the 1994 D nickel was very high, with the Denver Mint producing hundreds of millions of coins for circulation. Because of this large production number, the coin is considered common in circulated grades. Most examples found in pocket change today show signs of wear, such as flattened details on Jefferson's hair and the steps of Monticello. In circulated condition, the 1994 D nickel is generally worth its face value of 5 cents. In uncirculated condition, however, the coin can carry a modest premium. Collectors look for examples with strong strike quality, full details, and original mint luster. Mint luster refers to the reflective shine created during the minting process, often appearing as a cartwheel effect when the coin is tilted under light. Coins graded MS63, MS64, or MS65 by professional grading services, such as PGS or NGC, are common and affordable, but higher grade examples, such as MS66 or MS67, are much scarcer and can command higher prices in the collector market. One important factor in evaluating Jefferson nickels, including the 1994 D, is the quality of the strike on the steps of Monticello. Collectors often look for coins designated as full steps, meaning that the horizontal steps at the base of Monticello are clearly defined and uninterrupted. Achieving a full steps designation can significantly increase the coin's value, especially in higher mint state grades. Because many nickels from the 1990s were struck with heavy production demands, fully detailed steps are not always common, making high-grade full steps examples more desirable. Proof versions of the 1994 nickel were also produced, but these were struck at the San Francisco Mint and bear an S mint mark. The 1994 D nickel refers specifically to the business strike produced for circulation at the Denver Mint. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and frosted design elements. They were sold in proof sets for collectors and are distinct from regular circulation coins. Error coins can add additional interest and potential value to a 1994 D nickel. Common mint errors may include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and double dies. Minor die cracks are relatively common and usually do not add significant value, but major double die varieties or dramatic off-center strikes can be worth substantially more than face value. Collectors often examine coins carefully under magnification to identify any unusual characteristics that might indicate a valuable error. The 1994 D nickel was produced during the presidency of Bill Clinton, a time of economic expansion in the United States. Coin production levels remained high to meet the needs of commerce, vending machines, and everyday transactions. The nickel denomination has long been essential in American commerce, used in countless small transactions across the country. From a collecting standpoint, the 1994 D nickel is typically included in complete Jefferson nickel data and mint collections. Because it is common, it is easy to obtain in circulated grades and affordable in mint state. Many collectors assemble sets from circulation coin rolls or mint sets, aiming to find the highest quality examples possible. Searching through bank rolls can sometimes yield uncirculated or near uncirculated specimens with strong luster and minimal contact marks. In the current coin market, circulated in 1994, D nickels are worth face value. Uncirculated examples may sell for a small premium, usually ranging from a few cents to a few dollars depending on grade and eye appeal. Certified high-grade examples with a full steps designation can sell for significantly higher amount at auction, particularly in MS66 or MS67 condition. The difference in value between an average circulated coin and a top-grade example demonstrates the importance of condition and strike quality in modern coin collecting. Proper storage and handling are important for preserving the coin's condition. Although copper nickel coins are relatively durable, they can still develop surface marks, discoloration, or toning over time. Storing coins in protective holders or albums helps prevent environmental damage. Avoiding direct contact with fingers is also recommended, as oils and moisture can affect the surface. Finally, we have the 1977 5-cent coin. The 1977 5-cent coin of the United States is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, one of the most recognized and continuously produced coin designs in American history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the earlier Buffalo nickel design, and it has remained in circulation ever since. The 1977 nickel represents a classic example of the mid to late 20th century American coinage era, produced during a time when modern minting technology allowed for high output and consistent design standards. Although it is a common coin in circulation, it holds importance for collectors who assemble complete date and mint mark sets of the Jefferson nickel series. The obverse of the 1977 nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The portrait was designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose work was selected in a national design competition organized by the United States Mint in the late 1930s. Jefferson's image is dignified and formal, showing his profile with detailed hair and period clothing. To the left of the portrait appears the inscription "In God We Trust," which has been a standard motto on U.S. coinage. To the right of the portrait is the word liberty followed by the date 1977. If the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, it carries a small D mint mark to the right of Jefferson's shoulder. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1977 typically did not display a mint mark, as was standard practice at that time. Therefore, a 1977 nickel without a mint mark is from Philadelphia, while one with a D is from Denver. The reverse of the 1977 nickel displays an image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home located in Virginia. The building is shown in a frontal architectural view, including its dome and columned entrance. Above Monticello appears the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. Below the building is the inscription Monticello, followed by 5 cents and United States of America. The reverse design was also created by Felix Schlag, though it was slightly modified shortly after its introduction in 1938 to enhance the clarity and sharpness of the architectural details. The Monticello reverse remained largely unchanged until 2004, when the United States Mint temporarily redesigned the nickel to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. In terms of composition, the 1977 nickel is made from a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has been standard for U.S. nickel since 1866, except for the wartime nickels produced from 1942 to 1945, which contained silver due to nickel shortages during World War II. The 1977 nickel contains no silver or precious metal, and its intrinsic value is tied primarily to its metal content and collectible condition rather than bullion value. The coin has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and weighs exactly 5.0 grams. It features a plain, smooth edge without reeds, distinguishing it from denominations like the dime and quarter. The nickel's solid feel and slightly thicker profile make it easily recognizable in everyday transactions. Its durability comes from the copper-nickel alloy, which resists corrosion and were better than many other metal compositions. The mintage of the 1977 nickel was very high, reflecting the ongoing need for small denomination coins in the United States economy. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of pieces, and the Denver Mint also struck a large quantity. Because of these high mintage numbers, the 1977 nickel is considered a common coin in circulated grades. Most examples found in pocket chains show signs of wear, including flattened details in Jefferson's hair and reduced definition on the steps of Monticello. In circulated condition, the 1977 nickel is generally worth its face value of 5 cents. Coins graded in good, very good, fine, or extremely fine condition typically do not command significant premiums because they are widely available. However, uncirculated examples, especially those in higher mint state grades, can carry modest premiums in the collector market. Coins graded MS-63, MS-64, or MS-65 by professional grading services are relatively common and affordable. The value increases significantly for coins graded MS-66 or MS-67, particularly if they display strong strike quality and minimal contact marks. One important feature collectors look for in Jefferson nickels is the detail of the steps on Monticello. Coins with clearly defined and uninterrupted steps are often given a full steps designation by grading services. Achieving this designation can greatly increase the coin's value, especially in high mint state grades. Many 1977 nickels were struck with heavy production demands, and some examples show weak details on the steps, making full step specimens more desirable among collectors. Mint luster is another important factor in evaluating uncirculated coins. A well-preserved 1977 nickel will display bright, original luster that creates a cartwheel effect when rotated under light. Any dullness, discoloration, or breaks in luster may indicate wear or improper storage. Because nickels are made of copper-nickel alloy, they can develop toning over time, often appearing in shades of gold, blue, or gray. Natural toning is generally acceptable and sometimes even attracted to collectors, while harsh cleaning can reduce the coin's value. Proof versions of the 1977 nickel were also produced, but these were struck at the San Francisco Mint and carry an S Mint mark. Proof coins are manufactured using specially polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. The 1977 circulation nickel from Philadelphia or Denver is distinct from these proof issues. Proof coins were sold in collector proof sets and were not intended for everyday circulation. Error coins from 1977 can add additional interest and potential value. Some possible mint errors include off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, and double dies. Minor die cracks are relatively common and may not add significant value, but major errors or dramatic off-center strikes can be worth considerably more than face value. Double die varieties, if clearly visible in the lettering or date, may also attract collector attention. Careful examination under magnification is often necessary to identify such varieties. Historically, 1977 was during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, a period marked by economic challenges such as inflation and energy concerns. Despite these economic factors, coin production remained strong to meet commercial demand. The nickel denomination has always played a key role in small transactions, vending machines, public transportation, and everyday purchases. The high mintage of the 1977 nickel reflects its importance in daily commerce. And modern coins can be valuable if they are preserved in excellent shape or contain rare mint errors. Always check your pocket change carefully. You never know what treasure you might find. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing U.S. coin history and value guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.